Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Leadership newspaper. The major story here says, Adamawa governorship. INEC has no power to void my declaration, Binani tells court. INEC has no power to void my declaration, Binani tells court. That's Aishatu Binani speaking there. All right, we move now to the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, and still towing the line of the Adamawa gubernatorial poll. PDP governors fume over controversial declaration, demand authentic winner, say odd declaration, lowest point of 2023 general election, national disgrace. PDP governors fume over controversial declaration, demand authentic winner, say odd declaration, lowest point of 2023 general election, national disgrace. You find all the details on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. And to the First News newspaper, still talking about the Adamawa gubernatorial poll. Conclude Adamawa guber poll now. PDP governors charge INEC as protests by PDP APC supporters rock state. Governor demand a review of Rex appointment process, prosecution of hoodoo others. Mike?
I have the Daily Trust here, and it's still focusing on Adamawa. That's the big story on the papers today. PDP supporters protest, give INEC 72-hour ultimatum. And we have some riders there. Binani heads to court, insists on Rex declaration, and INEC shifts emergency meeting to today. Embattled REC suspended. An SDP candidate seeks disqualification of Binani Fintiri. All right, this is a story on the front page of Daily Trust. All right, from there, let's go to this Nigeria. You were reckless. INEC hits hard at Adamawa electoral officer Yunusari, asks him to stay away from office. Protests erupt as PDP demand announcement of election results. This is this Nigeria. That's what he has there. From there, let's go to the Blueprint newspaper. For declaring Binani governor-elect, stay away from our premises. INEC tells Adamawa REC. All right, for declaring Binani governor-elect, stay away from our premises. INEC tells Adamawa Iraq. It has some riders there, directs administrative secretary to take charge, and CDD urges sanction once electoral body to declare results. And Abo faults INEC. Omokri warns against coup possibility. And Ari's action has element of treason. That's some lawyers saying there. So you have opinions up and down regarding this. Business Days, the next one now, and it says Nigeria's textile imports double despite local production push, hits 15-year high as industry languishes. Right? Nigeria's textile imports double despite local production push, and hits 15-year high as industry languishes. Veronica?
And we have more papers. The Nigerian Tribune now. More knocks for Adamawa REC as Binani goes to court. More knocks for Adamawa REC. That's the resident electoral commissioner as Binani goes to court. And we move to the front page of this day newspaper. INEC suspends Adamawa resident electoral commissioner as Binani seeks judicial review of her announcement. INEC suspends Adamawa resident electoral commissioner as Binani seeks judicial review of her announcement. You find the story on the front page of this day newspaper. To the Punch newspaper now. Fuel subsidy. Federal government begins 40% pay rise for workers April ending. Fuel subsidy. Federal government begins 40% pay rise for workers April ending. All the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And we move to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. 40% of failed transactions are unresolved as e-payments hits 49.4 trillion naira. 40% of failed transactions unresolved as e-payments hit 49.4 trillion naira. We move now to the front page of the Daily Independent. Federal government may spend more than $800 million earmarked for palliative. Federal government may spend more than $800 million earmarked for palliative. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Sun now, aviation strike, passengers stranded, airlines suffer losses. Aviation strike, passengers stranded, airlines suffer losses. All right, gentlemen, we'll look at this developing story, talking about the fallouts from the elections that took place in Adamawa, because that's the major story on the front page of most of the papers this morning, talking about how the fact that INEC has suspended the resident electoral commissioner after it had a meeting yesterday, because they were summoned immediately to Abuja for that meeting, and it concluded with suspending the resident electoral commissioner. Now, Aishatu Binani, that was declared by the REC, has gone to the courts. She's seeking judicial review of that process, and INEC's voiding her declaration.
It's a very interesting development. It looks like a play from Shakespearean days, you know. It's like impunity giving birth to impunity, giving birth to impunity. The first impunity was that of the REC.
Yes.
As if that of the REC is not enough, they have to wreck it further with the what's her name, Binani, saying that yes, I actually won. And I've announced that. You would think that everybody would say, stop. You never reach. Then his own crowd also added to the impunity. They went to the street and said, declare her that she has won. I mean, I don't know what is going on. This is what they call switcheroo. That's what where they switch things surprisingly from what it's supposed to be, especially when it's deceptive. It's just like the story of Laban in the Bible and Jacob, yeah, who thought that she was going to marry Rachel, and then lo and behold, during the wedding, it is you probably didn't see Leah because she was all covered up, and he probably had one or two wine in his head. He didn't know, and then he wakes up in the morning and finds out,
was this the plan?
Was this the plan? No. You have another 7 years.
So
exactly.
So that's what you call the switcheroo. So they just switched it, and that is what you are seeing now. Yeah, it's really it will have been funny if it were not tragic. What is going on, because we can have this happen, and maybe another aspect of it is that men have come to infect women in Nigerian politics. In Shakespeare's play Macbeth, when Lady Macbeth was trying to make her husband go and kill the king, he said, "The past now unsex me." Don't make me look like a woman with all those fear and sentimentality. Make me ruthless. Make me like a man, as it were. So that is the kind of thing that Binani is doing. He's doing the thing that that the men are doing. That when they lose the election, they come with the bravado of guilt, and come there and say, "Hey, I won," and that's what they are doing now. I mean, it's impunity. The REC has no place in announcing an election, especially since the returning officer did not say, "I'm suffering from dumbness, and I can't see, and I can't hear."
Exactly.
But I can see that the collation has not finished. So I don't have to use my mouth to say anything. I have to keep my mouth shut. But this man's mouth was very heavy. I don't know what, it was very, very smooth and glib. I don't know what is fueling it. Somebody will tell us later what is fueling that.
Maybe somebody will tell us. It's like the other
Somebody who has the idea will tell us. Somebody who has the information will tell us. We don't know, you know. But however, I think this is a height. This is the height of what Nigerians are complaining about, because it's very obvious. It's very clear that whatever circumstance, the resident electoral commissioner is not empowered to announce any results. It is clear, it's glaring.
by the law.
By the law. So the point there is, let us even assume that something happens, they can't find the returning officer. Something happens, God forbid, that maybe he's incapacitated all of a sudden, or something happens, tragically he had an accident or he's not available. The INEC knows what to do. It is not it's not in the place of the resident electoral commissioner to declare the results. The processes are there. So a situation where a resident electoral commissioner comes to declare results, okay, where are the figures?
Where
are the figures? Exactly. Where are the figures? Based on what are you declaring
this person
the candidate a winner? Because at least what we know is that you will line up all the figures and say, okay, this party A has this number, party B has this number, party C has this number, party D has this number, and based on this number of, or this array of figures, this person who has the highest number here is now declared winner and is returned elected.
Yes.
That is what we know. That is what the law says. So a situation where a resident electoral commissioner comes to declare results, there is no figure. Okay, how many margin? What is the figure that the candidate you said has won has over the other one?
Yes.
We don't know. We don't have an idea. And the point there is, as it is right now, we also know that the collation of results has not been concluded yet. We don't even know the results from the other local government. They just went halfway, right? So we still have almost about 10 local governments to go. So that's what we expect. Now, some reports had it that about 2 billion naira was paid to the electoral or was bribed as a
We
case
said
may
it
be.
that somebody has information.
No, well, they have come to deny it, that monies wasn't given. But we heard some reports from, a report made around about 2 billion naira was given as bribe. Of course, it still remains an allegation, and we still wait to see. Of course, information will come out the way we are going. So Nigerians didn't expect to see this. And like Sam said, you even saw in our report earlier, elders, some leaders of the party, some very mature supporters of the party hit the streets in jubilation when they already knew, when they are supposed to know what the process is supposed to be. But they decided to keep the process aside and then jump into the bandwagon of, okay, it is our candidate, it is our mandate. But as far as the Constitution is concerned, that mandate cannot be declared yet until the process is complete. That's what we know.
But she is claiming the argument she put before the court.
Yes.
Now, let me just read out some of the things she said. She is saying that the declaration was made after collation of the results. And then she was accusing the incumbent governor as having attacked the national commissioner and disturbed public peace. And then she's saying that INEC is usurping powers of the election tribunal by nullifying the declaration originally made.
That's a very beautiful technicality, except that it is based on nothing. Because the collation has not been concluded.
So I'm wondering where she saw it was concluded.
So there was really no announcement. So in our ears there was an announcement, but to the law there was no announcement. So there couldn't have been a case of a tribunal's job being usurped, So some people have come with all this kind of crazy things. We are seeing it. They're probably borrowing a leaf from the obedience and, the way they try to twist, facts that are already there before everybody, So that is what is going on here. Emma was also commend the INEC, and Mahmoud Yakubu for stepping in good time. Yeah. So people don't say that no, it's a collusion against the PDP by the INEC, and they've given the marching orders to the REC, and they've as it were declared him persona non grata.
But is that enough? The others were saying
we have to be prosecuted.
Yes.
Eventually, has to be prosecuted. And eventually, the law has to play its course, because announcing it as it's done is potentially an electoral crime.
Yes,
and not just it's not just a crime of doctoring figures, of announcing the wrong result.
Exactly.
When you are not doing, it's a law of usurpation.
Yes.
Yeah, you usurped your you have what they call it. I think they said they caught somebody for impersonation on the issue of impersonation at Heathrow the other day. But this one is real impersonation. Impersonation in the public eye.
Yeah, those who have said it is treason. It is a treasonable offense. But we hope to see some level of prosecution now with regards to INEC pushing this further, because Nigerians are waiting to see how INEC resolves this matter.
The issue, whether it is seen as treason, can be deductive.
Yes.
It may not be direct treason, but it can be deductive, because when the law is seen from different prisms,
the technicalities,
the technicality of it, you could commit a crime now, and then there could be a potential impact or consequence of the crime you have committed. And if they can deduce it from your action, then it becomes a potential crime.
You're looking at the same kind of case they are putting against Trump in the US.
Exactly.
Yes.
In New York, you know, if you bring evidence, then you can say that although you committed a tax offense, you also committed an electoral crime because look, you did this, this is how it affected the electoral law and so on. Then you also give
So, deductively, it can be treason depending on how those who are learned, how they interpret it.
Yes.
It's just like saying, okay, you didn't build hospitals. If you didn't build hospitals and then children died eventually, and as the case may be, and then the accident victims couldn't be treated, so by not building hospital, you've killed children. So just down the cascade down the road.
Yes.
However, the point there is, this is a very serious issue.
Of course.
A really very serious issue. And it should be treated, in fact, it is an electoral offense. And now, or electoral crime. Now, in fact, it is now that United Kingdom, America, and all the Western countries should activate their ban, all the bans they want to ban, all those who have been involved in electoral crime. This is the very visible one. That, in fact, his name and all the associates should be put inside, written in black paper, written in black ink and red ink, all together in the same register, so that they know that people who are committing crime, in fact, they can't even travel to Cameroon, not to talk of Ghana or South Africa or even London, as the case may be. So that's what we expect, because this is a very serious issue, a serious crime against Nigeria, against the Nigerian state, against the Nigerian people. Because whatever the thing is, wait for the voter to decide.
Yes.
Who knows? In the remaining 10 local government, Binani could still have won. Nobody knows. Let us wait until the results come out.
Although before the counting, Venturi was leading by 31.
Yes, of course, but
and
they had
said
just
the balance of the votes left about 37 or so, something thousand. And no,
the margin. Yes.
The margin was 31,000.
The margin was
31,000, and the rest of the votes to be counted were just below 40,000. That means that Binani needed to win everything, almost everything.
So she was trying to play smart. Is that what is?
Because she knows that the numbers do not really favor her. So let us just grab it
and run with it. No, but the point there is, who knows? Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Right?
And everybody will just line up and go and vote for Binani.
Yes, of course it could happen. So wait for that. Sam has cancelled this thing and said it's not possible. But the point there is, we wait to see, let the results all come out.
Yes.
You know, at the point of announcement, when you see everybody waiting, because like we have always said, all political parties have their situation rooms.
Yes.
Right? You already know if you're winning or you're losing.
Of course.
But let us assume, even when you win, you will wait for that announcement, right? Until they say, hey, it's returned elected. And then you see them jubilate as if it hit them like a breaking news. But they're already aware. So the point there is that they have to wait for that point of announcement. That is when the juice comes out and you enjoy the thing. But as it is right now, I don't think it's the right thing
It's obviously not the right thing.
All of us want to have a woman governor.
Of course.
No, of course.
But we don't have to endorse irregularity.
We don't want to have it like Macbeth's wife.